Coming up next on the Bell Howard Show, do you have a flip phone? The Biden administration says you don't anymore. In the latest civil liberties shakedown, we have lost the right to choose what phone we use and what's on it. Of course, big tech, Biden, the CCP, and Dr. Fauci cooked this one up over appletinis at Davos. I talked to a butter farmer that says the government can take his 3G flip phone from his cold, dead hands. Stay tuned to this one, kids. We're going to build back butter. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Bell Howard Show. You know, I'm only slightly drunk. I don't drink. Ever since I got the vaccine here in Azerbaijan, they have a special, let's just say they don't have the Pfizer or the Moderna. My wife's brother, who's actually a doctor, gave me a vaccine. Apparently, people who come from the hills here, they've been brewing their own vaccines for centuries. I mean, you should see these people. They're stronger than horses. That's a horse that I'm babysitting now. Anyway, I got a new studio, and I'm set up here in the barn or stable. It's a stable, but a stable can make a great studio. Anyway, there's a little vodka mixed in with the Azerbaijani vaccine, and that does the trick, I'm told. In other news, my old producer got in touch with me. If you've been a long-time listener, you know my ex-producer Wesley Simmons. He and I did the show from an oil rig, and towards the end when things got real intense, and I told him I was going to have to dissolve the show and sell the oil rig to help pay for the expenses incurred through the divorce, he didn't take it well. And he shot a harpoon gun at me. Yeah, so anyway, he called to apologize for that, and he gave me 10 sound files from the old show, which is great. He still listens to the show, and I know he feels bad for what he did, so that's good. Mea culpa, through his fault. But really, through mine. The show ended abruptly, but still, you don't have to shoot a harpoon gun at someone. So apology accepted, and I guess Wes and I will keep in touch from now on. So the Biden administration says they're building back better. Are they building back better, or are they better at building stuff behind our backs? I just came up with that one, too, and they say the vaccine causes brain fog. An internal memo that leaked last week says that while Mr. and Mrs. America sleep at night, the Biden administration has been working to take away your most precious freedom, your right to communicate with a phone of your choice. I know you like your new smartphone. It's got all the bells and whistles. It can take a great picture. It's good at facial recognition, and it has AR, or augmented reality, that can make it seem like you're sitting next to a monster at McDonald's. But really, the monster is your child, who you neglect every time you're playing with your phone. That's the entitled monster that will one day emancipate himself from you and join Antifa. There are still good people in this world. There are still people in this world that have normal cellular phones. Some of those decent folks are still using the 3G network. And yet major cell phone companies across this land are shutting down the 3G network and limiting the types of communication we use. My guest today is Darn Pickett. Darn Pickett manages the Pickett Farm and Butter Churnery in Brooklick County, Missouri, which boasts one of the oldest and most respected 3G cell towers in the country. Unfortunately, major companies like AT&T are phasing out their 3G network, so if you still have a 3G phone, you have until February 2022 to upgrade to a 4G or 5G compatible. But Darn is not going to let the government take away his 3G network so easily. Isn't that right, Darn? Darn, are you there?
Good to be here, Bell. Thank you for having me on your show and helping me get the word out.
I mean, they can't do this, right?
But they are, brother. They are. But if
And why, excuse me, why didn't you just follow the herd and get one of those little smartphones, right? Those things are neat, right?
You mean those little black magic boxes they want people as young as 3 years old to have? They're practically handing them out at kindergartens. You mean the little government listening devices? I mean, that's all these smartphones are, right? It's a way for federal agencies to get into your life. They want a high-quality microphone and camera on your person 24/7. That's all it is. And what do you get out of it? Oh, I got the internet. Yeah, you had the internet at home in a secure connection, dummy. Now you don't. Now you're wandering around letting people know where you are with that smartphone in your pocket.
But that was true with the flip phone as well, right?
Yeah, I guess. But now you got the social medias which the kids are connected to like a second umbilical cord. Not only do they know your location, but all your friends and what you had for breakfast. And then they want your political affiliation because they got to know you're rooting for the right team. And last, they want to know that you're vaccinated.
And that's what you found in the leaked Biden memo, right? I mean, how did you get that, by the way?
Let's just say I know a guy who knows a guy who has a blog.
Okay, please continue.
From the desk of the president himself, the mummy-in-chief, Tutankhamun up there in the Oval Office issued a proclamation essentially outlawing flip phones and making smartphones mandatory because that will carry all your personal information and it will be easier for federal agents to procure that information from your phone. And also, they will now come with a vaccine passport app. All phone companies will be required to install on your phone. You know, it's like in the old Russia. And maybe the new Russia, I don't know. They used to say, papers, please. Now they say, phone, please. And you have to show them this app with proof that you've got the demon juice in you.
I'm sure it won't allow for alternative vaccines, right? I mean, I just got the vaccine, but it's kind of a local brew. It's a mountain brew made in the mountains of Azerbaijan. I'm sure it has some alcohol in it, but
I know what you mean when you say mountain brew. That's why alcohol was invented. Before my granddaddy put up the first cell phone tower in this county, we didn't have the doctor. We had a powerful vaccine that we mixed in a bathtub. I don't care what virus you got, you drink a cup of granddaddy's bath water and it'll kill everything in you and somehow keep you alive at the same time.
The old bathtub gin.
Yes, sir. What else would you use a bathtub for?
So Biden decrees that we all carry the all-seeing eye in our pockets and have a valid vaccine passport so we can no doubt do things like buy cheese at the supermarket. I mean, wouldn't want strange, deplorable people, unvaccinated scum to be able to buy essential things they need at the local supermarket, right?
They would rather watch you starve and die than see a man be free.
So you don't have a choice, right?
No, that's the thing. Yeah, that's it. They're painting us into a corner and watching us squirm. And
Now, you say you have a cell phone tower up on your farm, right?
Yes, sir. We have the finest 3G tower in the county.
But didn't you fight the government on that one, too? I mean, that's a huge piece of equipment. Didn't they just come barging into your farm and try to set that up? You didn't put up a fight then?
No, we've always been cell phone tower friendly. But the biggest fight I had about that tower was with my daddy. He said, ain't no way someone's going to come here and replace his 2G tower with anything else. Well, I guess I was young and uppity, but I was right. 3G had faster connection speeds. I guess it's just a generational thing, but turned out I was right.
Well, what about 4G and 5G? Don't you want an even faster connection?
My son was all excited about 4G, but I blocked it. I chained up my front gate with my men and some local farmers, and we kept the trucks out. I ain't going to put up no more towers for you. Well, my son was embarrassed that he was the only kid in school not utilizing the 4G network, while his zombie friends with their dumb phones sending each other pictures of themselves with their pants down. Well, my son, if he got those pictures at all, he was getting them at a lot slower speed on account of him still utilizing the 3G network. Well, I think I did him a favor. Well, he said he would never forgive me, and he left the farm. Turned his back, not only on a perfectly adequate network with great reception, but he turned his back on his family, and he turned his back on butter.
Well, that's something I guess you have to work out with your son, right?
Yes, sir, I believe it is.
But what about 5G? I mean, that's the latest technology. it's blazing fast. That's what they say.
You know, they say it's the latest and the greatest, and you can download porn on your phone 5 times faster.
Or anything else for that matter.
I like it when the dirty picture you want to look at takes a long time loading, and it slowly reveals itself in your browser. But that's just me. Anyway, my point is, this has China written all over it. All these companies are in bed with the Chinese for the cheap labor and the cheap tech. And what does China get in return? All our data. So 5G, no thanks. If it was made in America, I would say 5 Jesus, yes, amen. But they're phasing out my beloved flip phone. So, you know what I say to the government? Y'all can take a swim up shit creek without a diaper. Because I ain't buying.
What about when people say you are dangerous? Well, I mean, let's talk about your group. I mean, some call it a militia. You just call it the Butter Boys.
Yeah, the Butter Boys. I mean, we, like all Americans, reserve the right to defend ourselves. We are ready, like all Americans should be, to go to war. I mean, now militia is just another word for terrorist organization. I mean, I don't see us that way. I call us a group of heavily armed, deeply religious butter churners who are concerned about the direction the government is taking us.
And that scares people.
Well, yeah, but I'm scared too. I mean, the world's a scary place, Bill.
Don't you think that on the one hand, you've been helped a lot by the technology you're against and could be helped by newer technology or a newer network? I mean, communication with your fellow churners and local churneries would speed up. I mean, it would help your cause.
That's the temptation, Bill. Once you go for that shiny red fruit they dangle in front of you, say I go on social media with my fellow butter boys, then they've got us. They're tracking us 24/7. Ain't no more freedom, is there?
You know, and I always... What was that?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it sounds like gunshots.
Shoot, it's Verizon. They brought the cavalry.
Verizon?
I see Verizon on the horizon, coming over them hills. They're trying to take us, Bill. God damn it, it's my choice. They want me to upgrade? Shoot, the only thing we upgrade around here are firearms. All right, Bill, it's on now.
Darn. Maybe it would be better if you just... He's gone. Well, good for him. He's standing his ground, but you know, now I'm looking at Verizon's website now, and their fall lineup isn't bad. Anyway, thanks so much. That was Darn Pickett, butter boy, farmer, and 3G network activist, and we'll be right back. You know, if you want to leave a voice message, you can still go to anchor.fm/bellhoward, all one word, and speak your mind, or better yet, ask me a question. Here's one from Kirk in Monad, Wyoming. Take it away, Kirk.
Hey, Bell, love your show. I was wondering what you think about Afghanistan and what's going on there, and what do you think will happen with the Taliban in power? Thanks.
All right, Kirk. Yeah, it's scary because I'm closer to it now, being in this part of the world. But remember, things are going to get bad, I think, a lot worse. You know, people are blaming the U.S. government for pulling out and leaving the country in an unstable position. But you know what? I think we can level this squarely at the social media platforms. Again, Twitter and Facebook allowed them a presence on their social networking sites. Also, NATO set up their cell phone towers, giving them faster communication speeds. So they adapted to the times, they embraced the technology, and they grew their brand on WhatsApp, Twitter, Telegram, YouTube. You know, I read an interesting article here from Bloomberg, and there's a piece by Tim Culpin about how the Taliban rose to power, how they grew, and when the time was right, they were there to take over. So it begs the question, are these social networking sites helping us or hurting us? Now I'm looking at the Taliban's Twitter feed here, and it's clear they've embraced the worst part of American culture. The latest post from one of the higher-ups in the Taliban is just a picture of some delicious-looking food. They look like little sandwiches, and the post reads, "Okay, maybe just one more Bolani." I don't know what that... Anyway, another one here. There's two Taliban warriors in a selfie, and they're both holding frappuccinos, and the post reads, American-style coffee shops can stay, but Panda Express better evacuate. So they've adapted to the technology, they've adapted to the times, thanks to us, ironically, and now they're using it against us. So I say, like I've always said, let's shut down the internet and take away these ridiculous smartphones that make Americans dumb and terrorists relatable. Well, that's all the time we have. It's been fun, real exciting, and it got a little dark. But remember, it's always darkest before the storm. I mean the dawn of a new era when hopefully technology won't rule the minds of men. And speaking of technology, like me and subscribe to me on all the social media platforms. Remember, folks, stay safe, stay sane, and stay free. Bye now.